think about getting old. Stay young, stay strong, live happily. Then you'll be guaranteed to look sexy like me. It doesn't matter how the days may come and go. It's all about the way you feel, so I've got to let you know. Age ain't nothing but a number. You're just all that you feel. Even though I move a little slower, everything I do is twice as sweet. Just like wine, all the time. Champagne, my name. I'm so young, feeling fine. 6 young girls, all the time. Oh, sounding good, Freddy, sounding good, baby. Ay, ay, ay.
About the things I did and I want to do some more.
Even though my set may change, my hair turn a little white, I take one day at a time and I party every night.
It doesn't matter how days may come and go. It's all about the way you feel. I'm here to let you know that
age ain't nothing but a number.
So what if I ain't got no teeth? The reason why I move a little slower, I got corn on top of both my feet, but just like wine,
all the time.
Champagne, my name. Caviar from afar, candy, brandy, marshmallow, jello, sugar time, all the time. Slower now. You know I can't go too fast because I want it to last. Yes, indeed.
All the time. Caviar from afar. What's my name? Champagne.
Hello? Who's in the morning?
Who's? Alright, y'all. Guess what? Stevie S back one more time. We whining this time. Last time we hold a head, now we whining. Come on now. We going to a show and it's a whining contest. We gonna shake what we got and see who winds up the best. Say you whine on me, and I go whine on you. Together we go whine and show what we can do. Come on and whine up on me.
Tonight, U.S. Embassy officials calling for justice after an American is shot by an off-duty cop. Also, Sebastian stepping down as CEO of Island Luck. And later, government making progress on acquiring the Grand Bahama Power Company. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, the United States Embassy calling for swift justice after an American man was shot and killed by an off-duty police officer. Questions now mounting over what led to the deadly encounter as accounts from eyewitnesses and authorities appear to conflict. Our Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has been following this developing story. He joins me live in studio with the latest. Linton?
Good evening, Janaea. That's right. For most of the day, I spent tracking down patrons who were at Plantation Bar and Grill on Saturday evening when that fatal shooting occurred that claimed the life of an American man. Now, whilst we were able to get in contact with a number of eyewitnesses, some of them were afraid to step forward, but one woman said she watched it all unfold. Take a look.
He had to turn the vehicle to leave. The officer, I guess, felt as though the truck was heading towards him. So the officer moved out of the way and then approached the driver's door, opened the door, grabbed the victim, and discharged his firearm.
An eyewitness giving their account of what they claimed took place when an officer reportedly killed a man at the Plantation Bar and Grill on Saturday evening. That account, however, slightly differs from what police reported on scene.
The officer felt that the vehicle was coming at him in a threatening manner. He then fired one shot, fatally wounding the driver of that vehicle.
Chaos erupted after authorities say a confrontation broke out inside the establishment moments before the American national, now identified as Cody, a Florida resident who was working locally with Pike Corporation, was shot dead. The witness claiming that a verbal altercation allegedly began between the victim and another patron, an encounter not captured on camera.
While they were arguing, the victim pulled out a knife, and the security, being there, he saw him take the knife out and went to him to take the knife from him. After he took the knife from him, they still were arguing.
After all parties were escorted outside of the establishment, the eyewitness says the officer in question reportedly attempted to force the victim and others to leave. After the deadly shooting occurred, the eyewitness alleges that medical professionals on scene attempted to render assistance to the victim.
There were two women who went to assist the victim. They checked his pulse, which they said was faint, and they attempted to apply pressure to the wound. They were told that they could not assist with applying pressure because it was still an active crime scene. The nurses explained to them that if they didn't help, then he would bleed out before the ambulance even arrived. Two other men assisted to help, but they were handcuffed.
Eyewitness News understands that the victim's brother and another Pike employee attempted to intercept but were arrested. Following Cody's death, a GoFundMe with the goal of $45,000 was launched to cover, quote, immediate expenses for Cody's expecting wife. As for the investigation, and if authorities are maintaining their version of events.
Well, again, we are in the investigation. Once the investigation is finished, as you know, the matter will be turned over to the coroner.
Now, Janaea, earlier today, we did receive a statement from a United States Embassy spokesperson who noted that they are demanding the government of the Bahamas to deliver swift justice to this American family as they are watching this case unfold very closely. Now, we also spoke with Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles, who revealed that hopefully tomorrow they are expected to bring more updates into this investigation. Of course, it's a story we are continuing to follow, but for now, reporting live in studio, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. sending it back to you at the desk, Janelle.
Thanks so much, Linton Ritchie Jr. joining us live tonight. Well, meantime, with two police-involved shootings in just 48 hours, it's raising questions tonight about the use of force and public trust in law enforcement. Our Rebecca Bain has public reaction tonight.
Police officers are trained, very trained and skilled. Please do not engage the police. If you engage the police, then police will defend themselves.
Police press liaison Sharia King speaking to the actions of officers following the second police-involved killing in just 2 days. The latest incident involved an off-duty officer who fatally shot a man police say attacked him with a cutlass during a confrontation near Montague Motors off West Bay Street. Minister of National Security Wayne Munro also weighing in backing police.
Somebody attacks you with a cutlass. Not only the police, but a private citizen has a right to defend themselves.
But public reaction has been mixed. Another weekend shooting which left a Pike employee dead, adding to growing concerns about police use of force. Some residents questioning whether different tactics, including de-escalation, could have been used.
So why the police don't have tasers or pepper spray or whatever the case is, it has to be a different way where they can resolve conflict interest without pulling their guns. They always say, the public needs to do conflict resolution and all that, but the police need it just as much because if they pull in the trigger quicker than us.
Others going further, raising broader questions about transparency and trust in police investigations. However, at this time, there is no evidence to suggest any wrongdoing or corruption in either incident.
They know the good cops, they know the bad cops. They got to start talking on the bad cops because it's the bad cops that making them look bad and not the good cops. Once one bad apple spoils a whole bunch.
Police say investigations into both matters are ongoing. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, local activist Candy Gibson also speaking out tonight on the heels of the recent killings that she says has sparked public alarm and, in some cases, mistrust. Gibson pointing to the recent murders of two men who were fatally shot by police during separate incidents which unfolded in less than 48 hours.
Lives has been lost, and families and friends will forever be changed. In moments like these, emotions run high, questions arise, and communities are left searching for answers. But one thing remains clear. Every life matters, and every loss deserves truth, transparency, and accountability. We cannot build a safer society without trust. And trust requires that when incidents occur, no matter who is involved, there is a clear, honest, and thorough process that brings understanding and, where necessary, justice. This is not about rushing to judgment. This is about ensuring that no life is dismissed, no family is left without answers.
Meanwhile,
Don't you touch me.
You choking me. I ain't touching you. I touching you? You have a grudge with people? You have a problem?
Hey, relax, relax.
You have a problem? Ow.
Meanwhile, another viral video capturing a policeman seemingly mishandling a woman sparking outrage tonight. The video showing a police forcefully pinning a woman against a vehicle during an attempt to detain the woman, who was also seemingly resisting arrest from that officer. However, things appeared to intensify as the video continued. It shows the woman grabbing the officer's vest, which further escalated this altercation. The video further showing another officer seemingly attempting to de-escalate the matter, but his efforts falling flat as his colleague followed through with his attempt to arrest that female, who continued to resist and push back. Eyewitness News reaching out to authorities on this matter. Questions were also raised about the woman's body parts also being exposed. Authorities say they are reviewing this video. It's a story we will continue to follow tonight. On to another big story. A family is mourning following a deadly hit and run on East Bay Street. Questions now emerging about the circumstances surrounding that incident and the condition of the vehicle involved. Art Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight.
The vehicle allegedly driven by a prison officer that struck and killed a husband and father of two last week in a hit and run was not licensed and insured, according to authorities. This as no charges have been brought across the officer in question. As investigations continue, the family of the victim, 29-year-old Kareem Williams, is demanding justice. According to police, Williams was hit while standing outside of a vehicle on East Bay Street. This impact sending him airborne as the prison officer in question fled the scene. Williams died days later in hospital. His wife, Ramonica Hamilton Williams, in an exclusive interview with Eyewitness News, said that they were separated at the time of his death, but he played a pivotal role in the lives of their children, 9-year-old Amber and their young sons, Sage and Caleb. She says immediately following the incident, there were red flags.
He tried to reach out to some of the family members that informed me to try to come and see him, but to make to settle it discreetly.
As for his daughter, she describes Williams as her superhero, one who she will never see walk through the front door again.
I feel sad for what happened because whoever knocked him down, knocked hit his head, they didn't stop to check if he was okay.
The family reflecting on final moments they shared with Williams, who just days before his death was expected to announce a surprise trip to Canada for him and his kids.
Amber, I ain't taking you and Sage away, but I ain't letting y'all know where I carrying y'all yet, because it can be a surprise. He was already preparing, buying the clothes and everything.
Describing him as a loving father, friend, and great player in the Bahamas Football League, loved ones made it clear the loss of Williams are shoes too big to fill. They're now hoping that the legal system and authorities will ensure the individual responsible for his death will feel the full brunt of the law.
It's like you guys want it to be swept under the rug, but the police for sure ensured us that they're handling it and reassured us.
It's unclear if police intends to file charges against the prison officer following inquiries. Eyewitness News was told the investigation is ongoing. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
On to some other news tonight. The Grand Bahama minister tabling a resolution in the House of Assembly today. It's paving the way for government's next move involving the Grand Bahama Power Company. Our Laurencia Smith has the details tonight.
Government is seeking to borrow $200 million to support its planned acquisition for the Grand Bahama Power Company. Once approved, the Grand Bahama Energy Company Limited will serve as the vehicle through which government will move forward with the acquisition. Grand Bahama Minister Ginger Moxie tabling 2 resolutions for debate outlining the financial plan.
A borrowing of $200 million by Grand Bahama Energy Company Limited through a consortium of banks led by Standard Chartered Bank for the acquisition of all the ordinary voting shares of the Grand Bahama Power Company.
The Davis administration has been very vocal about its efforts to take control of the power company and tackle the island's high electricity costs.
Approval of this House for the government to guarantee a borrowing of $80 million from Royal Bank Bahamas Limited to assist with capital expenditure and working capital.
Following the announcement in Parliament, Eyewitness News viewers weighed in on social media, with one viewer stating they could find $200 million to buy a power company but cannot find money to pay nurses and doctors. And another stated, Grand Bahama Power Company is not going to invest in infrastructure in Grand Bahama, and the GBPA has already divorced itself from them, so it's only right the government takes interest in it, because that's why we don't have an airport. The airport was destroyed in the hurricane, and the owners took the insurance money and left y'all screaming for the government to bill it back. Laughable. As long as it's open enough for U.S. departures and flights to Nassau, I don't care. Back in January, the Prime Minister announced a signing of a Memorandum of Understanding with Amera Incorporated, a move that drew criticism from those questioning government's track record in managing public utilities. The minister noted that addressing energy reform on the island was deliberate and carefully planned process, emphasizing that the structure is designed to ensure long-term stability. She added that the Grand Bahama Energy Company Limited will be wholly owned by the government, serving as the vehicle to advance reforms and oversight transition of the island's energy sector. She added that when the pressure grows heavy for the people of the Bahamas, government has to step in.
To use the lawful tools available to bring relief, restore confidence, and create better conditions for growth. That is what these resolutions seek to do.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, a political tug-of-war over alleged fraudulent passports intensifying in Parliament as the Deputy Opposition Leader Shannon Cartwright raised concern, drawing a response from Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper and reaction from Opposition Leader Michael Pintard.
And as responsible leaders on the other side, if they have information that's relevant to an investigation, they ought to provide it to the police and the proper authorities and stop fear-mongering, Mr. Deputy. They're politicking and fear-mongering. If you have information, give it to the police.
When I last spoke in here, I laid on the table of the House of Assembly, Mr. Deputy, a document that this side insisted one didn't exist, but we laid it on the table. So when the member starts talking about get it to the relevant authorities, we are fully aware, Madam Speaker, that the relevant authorities have the information. Madam Speaker, in fact, it's the relevant authorities who provided us with the information because they certainly did not have confidence that this government was going to address the issue.
This led to the National Security Minister, Wayne Monroe, defending the investigation as he revealed the concerns of passport fraud had surfaced long before the current Davis administration came to office.
He flouted 300. He's not produced 300. The authorities have said that it was 98 that were forwarded from 2005. By all accounts, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is the amazing thing. This was happening under this administration, Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is being addressed. How many were addressed under the administration in which the member for Marco City was a cabinet minister? The current candidate, Mr. Deputy Speaker, who I believe is running in South Beach, had responsibility over the passport office, and they came up with 0. And most of the 98 being investigated passed through that time.
Well, Progressive Liberal Party candidate for Fort Charlotte, Sebastian, announcing today that he's stepping down as Chief Executive Officer of Island Luck effective March 31st of this year. Bastian serving in the role since co-founding the company some 17 years ago. In a statement released today, Bastian indicated that the transition follows his ratification in October of 2025 as a candidate for the PLP in the upcoming general election. He noted that the responsibilities associated with public service require his full focus, making it necessary for him to step away from his executive role. Island Luck's board of directors have already commenced the process of identifying the company's next chief executive officer. The board will oversee the leadership transition to ensure continuing and stability within the organization. On to news from the political arena, some big promises being made at the Free National Movement's general election campaign launch, but some are asking, are they simply election rhetoric or real and sustainable plans that could be ticked off their to-do list? Our Jose Etienne has the details tonight.
The Free National Movement's campaign launch now in the rearview, but beyond the energy and political rhetoric, Bahamians! The night was heavy on policy promises, with housing taking center stage.
We are absolutely confident that in 5 years working with the private sector that we can build at least 5,000 homes in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have the talent, the private sector has the money, we can do it.
FNM leader Michael Pintard's also defending the target despite critics calling it overly ambitious.
For those who say that ambition is too big, we say your hope and confidence in our people is too small.
The promise bringing back memories of past FNM housing plans, including the Prospect Ridge development, which never materialized under the Minnis administration. But the FNM argues the current government's housing efforts are falling short. The Davis administration, however, pointing to active projects, including Vince Pin Meadows, where dozens of homes are nearing completion, along with ongoing work in Renaissance and Pinecrest. Still, the FNM is pushing additional incentives.
If you construct apartments for low and middle income renters, the FNM will reward you with a 10-year real property tax exemption.
FNM is going to make VAT rebates for first-time home buyers immediate and digital.
On cost of living, Pintard also signaling expanded value-added tax relief, arguing the government's current measures don't go far enough.
We do not believe that VAT should be on the variety of items that's healthy and good for our people. Not on the electricity, not on medication, not on feminine hygiene products or foods, healthy foods. We make that commitment to you.
Turning to Family Island challenges, the party says it has solutions to improve access to banking services.
If you have challenges with your government because your government left you in South and Central Andros with no banks, I just want you to know we got to make sure you have a bank in South Andros.
The FNM also promising stronger legal protections for whistleblowers amid recent controversies involving government officials.
We will strengthen whistleblowing protections, including ensuring there is a single whistleblower hotline across all government activities, that whistleblowers have appropriate statutory protections.
And in a direct message to his team, Pintard warns that corruption will not be tolerated.
If any one of our colleagues decide that there is a cookie jar or two that they wish to put their hands in,
I can't protect you. I ain't interested in protecting you.
Meanwhile, the governing Progressive Liberal Party maintains its focus on continuity, saying it will build on what it calls progress made since taking office. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
A debate heating up after the F&M leader Michael Pindart announced plans to double small business funding to $100 million. It's an expand support for entrepreneurs and invest in new industries like the creative sector as a part of his vision for economic growth in the Bahamas. Eyewitness News turning to social media posing the question, will more support for small businesses improve the economy? 80% of participants voting yes, it will boost growth and create more opportunities. 7% voting no. Other issues matter more than business funding, while some 13% voted it could help, but only if properly managed. 0 or not sure. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls as your voice matters. Still talking news from the political arena tonight. Well, 2 major parties have officially launched their campaigns, but one former frontrunner has officially bowed out of the race. The Democratic National Alliance revealing to Eyewitness News today that it will no longer be contesting the 2026 general election. The party has been quiet for some time since the resignation of the former leader of the Komalafe shortly after the 2021 election loss. At the time, she cited great financial strain on her pockets as one of the main reasons. It's the same issue the party has had, which has kept it now on the board of directors in a lull regarding whether they plan to contest the election. But today, the party's board member, Rudolph Dean, says the party has officially made a decision to step back and will prepare for the election to follow in another 5 years.
We had up to 16 people who were interested in going this time, but we knew that this time is not the best time for us. And so we will continue to build, we will continue to grow, and you will be hearing a whole lot more from us because we will become more of an activist organization going forward. We will have a conclave shortly where we will substantiate all the positions in the party.
Meanwhile, independent candidate for Golden Isles, Karen Kim Butler, is signaling that she's not backing down, this despite an unsuccessful bid in the 2025 by-election. Butler says her political journey is far from over. She says she's now looking ahead to 2026, preparing to put her name back on the ballot and to make another push for the seat. Her decision comes at a time when independent candidates are continuing to test the strength of a two-party system.
The bottom line is still what the people decide. The people are the ones that are actually going to the polls, and they're going to be the ones that make the decision. A number of persons express their concern about, the last process and pledge this time around to actually go to the poll. And so I think that should make a difference. Well, the bottom line is I place myself in the hands of the people, and I will again place myself in the hands of the people and be guided by whatever decision they make. It's not for anybody else to decide except the people of that Golden Isles constituency.
Well, as election season approaches and all major political parties have officially launched their campaigns, on Monday, the House chaplain, Bishop Valentino Williams, he urged parliamentarians to guard their integrity. He says integrity is non-negotiable. It's a character trait that he says every leader must possess.
Even when no one is watching. There are 2 reasons today I want to share with you why all of us as leaders must guard our integrity. Number 1, integrity will safeguard you from corruption. No leader, no matter what sphere of society they lead in, whether it's a church, business, government, is exempt or immune from the possibility of getting caught up in corruption. All leaders, we're all human. And the Bible tells us, no good thing dwelleth in our flesh. This simply means we are all prone to falling into the sinkhole of corruption. However, guarding your integrity will prevent you from becoming the perpetrator of corruption. The second reason why it's important for us to guard our integrity is that integrity will safeguard us from suffering loss. Once your integrity is compromised, you will suffer loss of respect, loss of trust, loss of credibility, loss of influence, and last but not least, loss of legacy.
Well, the Bahamas Public Services Union is calling for government intervention on behalf of its members employed at the University of the Bahamas. Union President Kimsley Ferguson says union heads have been calling on UB officials to begin their salary review process, a requirement Ferguson says is a part of their industrial agreement. Now, he says without that review, the workers are being shortchanged, especially since the cost of living continues to increase.
We have written them on a number of occasions and copied the chair on when we're going to be able to get to the table. And that has been now months. No response on when we're going to get to the table. And they are saying commencing the industrial agreement negotiations is contingent on completing the salary review. Well, pray tell me, when are we going to complete that so we can begin to negotiate? We advise that the Prime Minister is about to ring the bell. Well, if we can't get the money, then he needs to ring the bell for true.
Well, Ferguson and the BPSU are also calling for the immediate resignation of the UB Board of Trustee Chair, Allison Maynard Gibson, and new UB President, Dr. Robert Blaine. This, as he says, officials have failed to meet with the union, nor have they actioned the review after years of pleading.
We've been addressing this salary review issue for more than 2 years. It is in our agreement. It's a legal and a binding agreement. And I am very disappointed in the chair, Mrs. Gibson, being a lawyer, an attorney, understanding the nature of a legal binding document, and has not met with the higher-ups in the University of the Bahamas to ensure that what the university agreed to with the Bahamas Public Services Union is expedited. Again, the longer we take, the more funding it's going to be. These persons are challenged in every area in their finance. The cost of living is escalating, and we need these people to be able to maintain a particular standard of living.
Well, in a statement released today, the University of the Bahamas pushed back on those claims, saying it continues to meet its contractual obligations, including annual increments and performance-based payments. UB also said a global accounting firm has been engaged to review salaries and compensation, but is awaiting information from the union to complete that process. The university adding that it remains committed to working with the BPSU in good faith and is preparing for negotiations on a new industrial agreement. On to some other news tonight. Amid ongoing tension between developers of Rosewood Exuma, Yintegra, and neighboring Turtle Grass Resort officials, one contractor seeking to clear the air. Our Danielle Dean has the details.
A Bahamian contractor working on the Rosewood Exuma project is pushing back against claims by Turtle Grass Resort officials, calling suggestions of environmental damage unfounded and insincere. A barge docked at Sampson Key last week added more tension to the ongoing dispute between Miami-based Integra developers and Exuma's Turtle Grass Resort. Turtle Grass Resort and Island Club officials suggested the vessel was carrying items meant to help Rosewood Exuma resume construction, despite the project not yet receiving the green light. But Valen Bodie, owner of Environmental Sustainable Solutions, who was hired by Integra to manage the project's greenhouse, plant propagation, and other environmental responsibilities, insists that's not true. Bodie says the items on board were not construction materials.
It is all things that I have sort of sent there in hopes that the government or the court, whoever makes the final decision on the project, they understand that, like, hey, we're putting ourselves in a position to execute these environmental regulations and exceed these environmental regulations to ensure that the project is executed in a positive environmental manner.
Bodie says he made his position clear to the developers from day one, insisting he would not be a part of anything that would harm the environment.
If I even think for a second that they're going to harm the environment, then I'm out. And I've made that known, like, hey, I'm not going to associate with anything that's going to harm my Bahama land at the end of the day.
Turtle Grass executives reported that the barge appeared to carry items including septic tanks and concrete material. But Bodie is flatly rejecting that claim, calling it a bold-faced lie.
That's really all that barge contained was my greenhouse, the soil, the pots, for the propagation of these plants, as well as a water truck. Obviously, I have to transport water to there to take care of these plants, right? So transporting water in a 55-gallon drum for thousands of plants is very counteractive. And then they mention, damaging the beach and things of that nature. That's the whole point of using a shallow water barge, right? I mean, you can't tell where that barge pulled up on the beach because there's no environmental damage.
Meanwhile, Turtle Grass Resort CEO Bob Coughlin said in a recent statement that the dispute could be eased by one decision on Integra's part, relocating its industrial supply dock from the North Bay to the southern end of the Key. Coughlin argues that such a move would better protect sensitive marine resources, including conch habitats and coral reefs. The project remains stalled as the Supreme Court judicial review continues, while Integra hopes to restart work soon. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
From the crime beat tonight, $100,000 worth of engine parts from a freight terminal on the George Aubrey Boulevard are missing, prompting a full police investigation on the island of Abaco. Officers say shortly after 9:30 Sunday morning, unknown individuals gained access to the facility and stole 2 lower units from the 300-horsepower Yamaha engines mounted on a white Intrepid vessel. Police say each unit is valued at around $50,000 each. Investigators are now appealing to anyone with information to contact police 911-919 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIP. So we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. Follow us Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel by scanning that QR code on your screen or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. But if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas @gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. Just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight. When we come back, an update on government's price comparison app just ahead of the VAT reduction. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, inside the boardroom, back with a focus on the digital payment system. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Got that crispy onions crunch, take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wild. Brioche bun soft like a cloud on this ride. Oh, let's get chicky with it. Hey, taste the sweet side of things. Every single bite, so litty. Got my whole crew doing their thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce. Pepper jack cheese, going off. Brioche bun, sitting pretty.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
At BOB, we take pride in our business banking.
I chose Bank of the Bahamas because it was a Bahamian-owned bank. The bank has certainly supported our evolution through overdraft facilities, purchasing of equipment, facilitating of salary payments, and I really believe that Bank of the Bahamas is able to help in the development of the local economy. I would truly recommend the services at Bank of the Bahamas.
New roads and airports are connecting our islands. Energy reform is bringing electricity prices down, while young Bahamians are stepping up, gaining new skills for new opportunities. Respect for workers. Support for entrepreneurs. we're modernizing energy and infrastructure across our islands and preparing Bahamians to succeed in a new economy. Transformations this big take time. Let's choose progress.
It's back, Agri-Expo 2026, presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, April 10th through 12th at the Gladstone Road Agriculture Center. Agriculture, our heritage, our future, comes alive with the latest farming technologies, exciting cooking demonstrations and competitions, Bahamian farmers and vendors from across the islands, fun for the kids at the Kitty Corner, nightly musical concerts, and free admission for everyone. Bring the whole family and celebrate what feeds our nation. Agri-Expo 2026. Let's get growing.
For more than 3 decades, the Bahamas Bridal Show has made dreams come true, all on a single day in a ballroom decorated wall to wall. Meet 14 wedding and home suppliers, giving away thousands of dollars in great prizes while you enjoy a fashion show, wedding demonstrations, food, and champagne sampling. Someone to Love comes to Bahamas Grand Hyatt, 2 p.m. Sunday, March 22nd. Purchase tickets for this spectacular wedding and event show at bahamasevents.net or call 421-9783.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. $5.45 at Esso tonight. Rubis, $5.31. Shell tonight, $5.77. Your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, consumers expected to get a bang for their buck with the soon-to-come official launch of government's price comparison app. But is there a downside? Our Danielle Dean converses with industry stakeholders in this next report.
Is the government's new price comparison app a win for consumers or a new burden for businesses? As PricePal remains in beta testing, its potential impact is already sparking debate. Local grocer Ivan Carey says while the app could help shoppers find better deals, it may also create challenges for retailers.
They can go, online, and most persons, they go online now, so they can go and compare prices, and so it'll help to educate them as to which store they can get better prices on, various items. So I think it's a good thing for the consumer. However, it does bring more work to us as the merchant to get it there, to get the items actually posted online so that they can view it. And so that's more work on top of what the government has already given us with the VAT exempt now.
Meanwhile, Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation Chairman Don Williams says market forces may ultimately level the playing field. He argues consumers will adjust their buying habits, but lower prices don't always mean greater value.
We know that consumers have certain habits. So if you're being price conscious, if you're pinching pennies, essentially, cost of living is always a major concern. You may opt to, as a consumer, therefore, to shop between certain stores. You may choose to shop more in bulk. Other consumers take a different approach. They're more along the lines of, I have a specific store that I'm going to. That's where I usually get my goods.
Williams is urging shoppers to look beyond price tags and consider factors like quality, quantity, and overall cost of living.
Look at the overall cost. If you're trying to shop at Super Value, for example, and you want to get something that might be a couple of cents cheaper at a City Market or Meat Max, is the cost of you getting those 1 or 2 items from that store worth the amount of gas you may take to get there? So we just encourage consumers, look, first and foremost, shop local. The more money that we keep within the economy, the better off we have, an opportunity that we have to reduce the cost of living.
The Chamber says it has been in talks with retailers and consumer protection officials with plans to continue negotiations to ensure the app benefits both businesses and consumers. And while there's no official end date for the beta phase, Consumer Affairs Director Rex Adderley says the app will be discussed during a stakeholder meeting set for this Friday. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, a Bahamas-funded fintech company is looking to scale beyond the region, betting on digital payments and new technology to drive its next phase of growth. But as it expands internationally, questions remain about its traction here at home. Our business reporter, Natario McKinsey, has more in this week's edition of Inside the Boardroom.
Canoe launched just months before the COVID-19 pandemic, and like many startups, faced early disruption. Now, the company's co-founder and chairman Nicholas Rees says the company is repositioning with a focus on new markets and products.
Canoe is a payment service provider at its heart. The Canoe that's known today in the Bahamas, we have reimagined ourselves throughout our business roadmap, our business life cycle. And as we branched out, we became something different. So right now, Canoe encompasses 3 major pillars.
The company's growth strategy now extends beyond the Bahamas with operations and clients across multiple markets.
One of which is the super app financial services deployment of licensed activity in jurisdictions. Presently, we're in Bahamas, Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad.
That expansion includes Africa, where the company is introducing wearable payment technology and building financial partnerships.
The second pillar is software development and enablement of platforms as a service. So we have, through our development shop now out of India and Dubai, our global sales office and our programming. And so that supports all infrastructure, all technology, and that's where we enable the likes of, the First Abu Dhabi Bank and our other clients internationally.
Locally, however, the company acknowledges it is still rebuilding as it works to position itself for its next stage.
We have taken a step back in terms of pressing gas on turning on and engaging new merchants and new clients because we've been rebuilding. We've been rebuilding from a foundational layer, ensuring proper security for this next wave of technology. So AI is taking over the world now. In the past 18 months has been the biggest shift. The biggest shift, I think, even bigger than the .com era, right? If you are not integrated and working with and aligned with and understanding AI, now you are already behind.
And while new technology is central to that push, industry watchers say adoption will be key, particularly in a market still heavily reliant on cash.
Innovation of today that's going to take over the Caribbean this year is going to be the payment rings. And after testing this particular version out, which is a fitness ring, so it's fitness and payments integrated with secure chip certified by Visa, Amex, MasterCard. We're one of 3 companies in the world alongside the likes of Google and Apple. This technology is going to take the Caribbean by storm. So we're seeing this increase bank sales by 500% because it's preferred by 9 out of 10 users to pay.
As the company grows abroad, Rees says it is also laying the foundation for greater local adoption. Natario McKinsey, Eyewitness News.
Well, members of Parliament today debating a comprehensive package of bills. It's aimed at shaping the future of the nation's youth. At the center of the debate, the Education Bill 2026, the Early Childhood Care Commission Bill, and the National Youth Commission Bill. Together, these measures are designed to strengthen the education system, enhance early childhood development, and expand opportunities for young people across the country. Education Minister Glenys Hanna-Martin kicking off debate on the legislation. She says it represents a major step toward building a stronger foundation for the next generation.
It explicitly affirms education as a human right,
Yes.
free for every child. On the issue of free for every child, I want to give notice that we intend to move an amendment. Section 23 has certain language, but when you look at it and combined with Clause 45, you see that it continues to give the minister a role in providing materials. However, for the avoidance of doubt, we will move legislation akin to language used in the 62 Act, which speaks about the provision of materials as resources permit. However, the ministry has been actively involved in providing and seeking to provide resources, e-books, textbooks, electronically for students free of charge. And so this clause, as it relates to materials and texts, will become moot in a very short order.
However, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Shannon Cartwright, taking the floor, arguing that the bill is key to the growth of education. In his contribution, Cartwright criticized the government for what he called their lack of financial responsibility, suggesting that the funds could have been directly invested in programs focused on education.
So as we talk about education reform, and the member for Angleston did mention at the end of her contribution all of the past ministers of education, including Minister Jeff Lloyd, who was a part of our administration, who would help to ensure that this day would come to fruition, Mr. Deputy Speaker. But there is no doubt, as we talk about education in our country, the Bahamian people can't help but think about the fact that the government has not prioritized, in their view, many of the aspects of the development of education in the country in terms of resources. This is a government who has spent $280 million on consultants. $280 million in consultants. Couldn't some of that, a good majority of that, gone towards some of the challenges faced in the education system?
Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, the Cancer Society set to receive a hefty donation. We've got the details, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Bahamian ownership in fly fishing is very important. Not only does it create opportunities for Bahamians, this is our industry, so we're proud of what we do. Opportunity is important. It's the story of my life, because with the opportunities, you can chart your own course. Prime Minister Davis and his team see the opportunities by providing these grants and what it can do for our country. It's just wonderful, and I'm glad to see these ventures working so that other people can get involved. This is real. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's help ourselves.
There are a lot of new opportunities in our country. We are building an economy that includes everyone.
And you chose to come to BTVI.
The best place to learn.
Expanding and updating BTVI.
It prepared me for the future to be an entrepreneur.
And this is what this is all about. We are creating more opportunities for more Bahamians, because opportunity is the key to success.
I go into the shop and what I see, the things what they trying to sell for tea. I come to bring it back where I get it from, and then they tell me they don't give refund. I say, girl, who is you? I want my money back, cause this thing ain't new. She tell me slide out, move off the line. I ain't gonna lie, nearly lose my mind. Time now, I just trying to get straight, you know, but they won't rob me. But I don't know, so I walk off, got out of sight, cause that's enough robbery for me in one night. March off like a marching man. Call Consumer Protection Commission. When they pick up, I file a complaint, and quick as that, I get my money back. Wait, don't mess with the CPC. Don't mess with the CPC. Hey, don't mess with the CPC. Cause why? They here to protect me. Follow the Consumer Protection Commission Bahamas Facebook page to stay up to date on tips that protect you as a consumer. It's your boy, the Immune Trick.
Some burgers are simple. The Barbecue Crispy King, this one goes all in. Smoky barbecue sauce, crispy bacon, flame grilled beef, stacked high flavor in every bite. In Nassau, we don't do small, and we definitely don't do boring. And when morning hits, the Breakfast Barbecue Crispy King has that bam to start the day. Burger King Nassau, triple down on big flavor.
This is definitely the time for BAMSI to continue to build on the progress that we have made. There's now drone technology, there's now year-round container farming, you have hydroponics, you have aquaponics, you have precision farming. There have been record numbers of enrollments, record numbers of flat fishing certifications. We've had record enrollments in our online courses. Students from across the family of islands, because in BAMSI, we are not just cultivating produce, we are cultivating producers.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, Verizon Media Group and Paramount Systems Limited partnering again with the Parliamentary Registration Department for another voter registration drive. It was held at the Smiley Bastian building on University Boulevard. Among those who took advantage of the opportunity were police officers, government workers, and other residents who were assisted by PRD workers. Revising officer with the department, Gregory Butler, says the exercise was a success as those first-time registrants are seeking to replace their voters' cards and transfers receive the necessary help. It also comes amid heightened conversations about how soon the general election will be called, triggering national calls for residents to get registered before it's too late.
Well, voters registration drive is moving steadily. All right. We Bahamians, we use for the last minute. And so things have really picked up now because I guess the election talk is in the air. Several months ago, people weren't really coming out, but we had to have the stations open. But so far, it's going well. It's moving steadily. I want to say that most people who come in here is from Fort Charlotte. They have big numbers coming in here.
Well, still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurentia Smith has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Laurentia.
Good evening, Janaea. Well, it's all hail the champ for Devin Charlton as she stormed her way to another record-breaking performance. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
You ready for church, Grammy? You still hiding your money under this mattress?
I ain't putting my money in no bank or no credit union. My money protected right here with me for my peace of mind.
It's 2025, Grammy, and I promise you, nobody after your money. But if one of those institutions do get mashed up, your money's still protected.
So, why I gotta pay for my money to be protected?
Oh man, Grammy, with those DIC member institutions, your deposit already protected, automatically.
So, I ain't gotta hide money around the house no more?
Don't say that too loud, Grammy. You're looking to get robbed. With the Deposit Insurance Corporation of the Bahamas, your savings, checking, and fixed deposits are protected up to $50,000 per depositor per member institution.
Let's go, hustle, hustle, hustle. All right, get up. Y'all can't be tired already. Only was one lap.
My mommy tell my daddy that she needed some money. So my daddy tell her that she needs to go to Island Lock.
Okay.
Ooh, that sounds like my mommy too. Every time my phone makes a certain noise, she always gotta go pick something up.
Oh, shoot.
Coach, what type of phone that is? You look like you need some money on your account. You want me to call my daddy? Don't worry, Coach. My daddy worked till alive, and I know they have one big sale coming up. I sure we could get one new necto for you. See mine?
Hey.
March into this spring with the savings you only get at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Seabass tuna, 5 ounces, 84 cents. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounces, $2.39. Jacquard vegetable oil, 40 ounces, $4.49. Chicken drumsticks, $1.19 per pound. Seabass raw shrimp, $41.50, 12 ounces, $5.99. The savings you are craving are on special at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay play.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. When the conversation turns to the greatest woman in the 60-meter hurdles of all time, one name that demands a place in that discussion is our very own Devin Charlton.
Drop here into run. The crowd have been brilliant in Poland, and Charlton's running away with it here. They can't get near her. Charlton does it. 3 in a row.
Even more impressive, she did it in record-breaking fashion. The 30-year-old matched the same mark that she earned her first gold medal in Glasgow in 2024, becoming the first woman ever to win 3 world indoor titles in the event in a time of 7.65 seconds. On top of her head, the queen of the indoor championships says that she always believed in her performance.
Something like that in me, it was all about just executing a good race. As it turns out, it wasn't so good of an execution, kind of stumbled at the start, but I was able to pull it together and get the job done.
Fellow Bahamian Tanisha Cartwright also made it to the finals, finishing for 7th in a time of 7.90 seconds. Now with the indoor season completed, attention turns to what's next for the champion.
Yeah, I think outdoor is a different beast. There are 2 different events, and I think I'm well suited to indoor, and so I think the focus from here is just building up the latter half of my race so that I'm just as effective outdoor.
Also competing at the championships in Poland was Charisma Taylor, who finished 9th overall, clocking a time of 7.97 seconds in the women's 60-meter hurdles. Also in the men's heptathlon, Kendrick Thompson placed 10th with 5,776 points, while Taj Brown ran a time of 8.30 seconds in the men's 60-meter hurdles. Meanwhile, B3A's president Dromiko Archer speaking trackside on the final day of the Carifta trials, expressing his pride in Charlton's performance.
I can't confine my joy when I look at our Bahamian program and see that we are punching far above our weight class. And of course, not only just Devin, we had Denisha in the finals as well. So we're not a fluke, as I said before. We are the real deal.
Congratulations to Devin and all of our athletes. Still trackside, the B3As is set to officially name the team that will represent the 242 at the upcoming Carifta game scheduled for Easter weekend over in Grenada. Now that team is expected to be named tonight. Last weekend, we caught up with several of the standout athletes over at the Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium as several athletes looked to punch their ticket to the games over at the Carifta Trials. We spoke with Zion Brockford, who won the under-17 boys 200 and 400 meters, Zion Davis capturing the under-20 boys 400 meters and 400 meter hurdles. And also in the under-17 girls division, we had a chance to speak to Breon Ward. We also had a chance to speak with Egan Neely, who also delivered a strong performance.
Gotta keep on working so I could drop my time so I could be able to go to Grenada and get the gold.
Carifta was in 2023, I came 5th. My second Carifta, I came 4th. And now this is going to be my last Carifta. So I plan to leave out with a bang.
To the best of my ability, and I achieved that goal today. Very proud of myself.
For the under-17 boys,
my mindset into Grenada is to execute my race, do what I have been training for this whole season. So, yeah.
The Bahamas is looking to capitalize on the momentum from last year, where they captured a total of 37 medals, 16 golds, 13 silver, and 8 bronze over in the twin island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Well, definitely stay tuned to Eyewitness Sports, as we will have the official listing of that team in a later sportscast. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Deputy Prime Minister and a Member of Parliament for Exoma and Ragged Island constituency, the Honourable I. Chester Cooper, along with Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, Works Minister, the Honourable Clay Sweeting, and a team of officials recently visited Ragged Island. During the visit, officials were welcomed by Principal Alice Ramming and students during a Commonwealth Day assembly.
We wish to extend a warm welcome to all who are visiting here with us today.
as we celebrate Commonwealth Day under the theme, Unlocking Opportunities Together for a Prosperous Commonwealth.
I am so happy to always be able to brag that I came from the public school system. So I can tell you that the same way I've been able to succeed and become Deputy Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, you can do anything.
Minister Hannah Martin stressed the vital importance of equity within the Bahamian education system.
The song says, "This land is my land, from Grand Bahama down to Winagua, from Berry Island across to Mequona. This land was made for you and me." But in that chain is Ragged Island. And even though there are only 5 or 6 or 10, whatever the number is in this community, we have to ensure that we have equity as best we can.
Director Dominique McCartney-Russell echoed those sentiments.
Here at Ragged Island All-Age School, with our 5 students, we see the living proof of the ministry's unwavering commitment that every child in every class and every school must have access to quality education.
Jonalie McIntosh for Ed Talk.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Monday. Coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, a full look at all of today's top stories. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Tasha, what you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to catch J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance.
Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online.
Stop it. How you do that?
Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for the online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never have to stand in line again.
Amen to that.
Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind.
Very dry, tight, sensitive skin? Relieve it in 60 seconds with Aveeno Skin Relief. With soothing triple oat complex, clinically proven to heal and strengthen dry skin. Aveeno, your skin stronger.
Don't let diarrhea steal your sunshine. Imodium Multi-Symptom Relief gets to work fast in just 1 hour, offering our most complete relief from diarrhea, bloating, gas, and cramps. So you can get diarrhea off your mind. Imodium. Calm the chaos of diarrhea.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard, but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Island Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds. When you set a budget before you start,
and know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
Fun. So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, several police incidents, including shootings this weekend. One left an American pipe worker dead. The U.S. Embassy is now involved. Also tonight, take a look at this video.
Don't you touch me. You choking me. I touching you? I touching you? You have a grudge with people? You have a problem? Hey, relax, relax. You have a problem? Ow. Sorry. Look at everyone saying here now. He caused this. He do this himself. Tell him stop.
It's gone viral. In fact, that video, you'll see more of it coming up tonight. A woman appearing to be resisting arrest in the middle of a struggle with police. We have the latest for you. A war of words in Parliament today. Once again, fraudulent passports, the topic. And later tonight, a princess, part of a fact-finding mission in the Bahamas to introduce large-scale farming to Bahamians. We have it all straight ahead for you tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. The U.S. Embassy is calling for swift justice after an American man was shot and killed by an off-duty police officer. There are numerous questions tonight over what led to the deadly encounter. As we hear from Linton Ritchie Jr., accounts from eyewitnesses and authorities appear to conflict.
He had to turn the vehicle to leave. The officer, I guess, felt as though the truck was heading towards him. So the officer moved out of the way and then approached the driver's door, opened the door, grabbed the victim, and discharged his firearm.
An eyewitness giving their account of what they claim took place when an officer reportedly killed a man at the Plantation Bar and Grill on Saturday evening. That account, however, slightly differs from what police reported on scene.
The officer felt that the vehicle was coming at him in a threatening manner. He then fired one shot, fatally wounding the driver of that vehicle.
Chaos erupted after authorities say a confrontation broke out inside the establishment moments before the American national, now identified as Cody, a Florida resident who was working locally with Pike Corporation, was shot dead. The witness claiming that a verbal altercation allegedly began between the victim and another patron, an encounter not captured on camera.
While they were arguing, the victim pulled out a knife, and the security, being there, he saw him take the knife out and went to him to take the knife from him. After he took the knife from him, they still were arguing.
After all parties were escorted outside of the establishment, the eyewitness says the officer in question reportedly attempted to force the victim and others to leave. After the deadly shooting occurred, the eyewitness alleges that medical professionals on scene attempted to render assistance to the victim.
There were two women who went to assist the victim. They checked his pulse, which they said was faint, and they attempted to apply pressure to the wound. They were told that they could not assist with applying pressure because it was still an active crime scene. The nurses explained to them that if they didn't help, then he would bleed out before the ambulance even arrived. Two other men assisted to help, but they were handcuffed.
Eyewitness News understands that the victim's brother and another Pike employee attempted to intercept but were arrested. Following Cody's death, a GoFundMe with the goal of $45,000 was launched to cover, quote, immediate expenses for Cody's expecting wife. As for the investigation, and if authorities are maintaining their version of events.
Well, again, we are in the investigation. Once the investigation is finished, as you know, the matter will be turned over to the coroner.
What a troubling story. It really would be very, very interesting to be able to get to the bottom of it and hear fully what took place. But, you know, again, just troubling. Plantation with its issues and the police arriving and then it ending up with one man losing his life. We're going to jump right in this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Contributors Leslie Miller and Glenroy Pratt. Good evening to you, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening, Janine, and good evening, Bahamas.
You know, it really, you don't want to be presumptuous and say something that it's obviously an active investigation, but gentlemen, the U.S. Embassy is involved, asking for swift justice. A police officer pulled out his service weapon and fired a shot after those men got into an argument and fight with other patrons. Your thoughts on how this all played out, how it's looking, just how it sounds?
You know, before we jump to any kind of conclusive thought process, obviously this is an alarming situation, and obviously it has an impact on us one way or the other. It's unfortunate that this young man lost his life, and I hope that whatever transpired, you know, would be somewhere a justifiable action would have taken place, and not just acting or, you know, just being
emotional.
Afraid and emotional. But, you know, this is likened to the incident that transpired sometime in Minnesota with the ICE agent and the vehicle coming up, the
the
gentleman,
lady. Yes.
or the lady.
That came to mind as well when I heard that. Yeah.
As it is stated, but obviously there are eyewitness accounts that will speak to it, and obviously there are incidents like this that will require a complete, thorough investigation before any conclusions are made. It's just unfortunate for all parties involved, and I'm hoping that justice at whatever level prevails, and that that the true results of what transpired is clearly understood, and clarity is gained for all.
I agree. Leslie?
This is a situation that is really confronting us as a people. You have a U.S. citizen that was shot with off-duty police who had a revolver in his possession. The question is, was this other gentleman, was he armed or what? How did this incident took place? And this anonymous spokesman, was he there at the scene? This needs clarification, and the Commissioner of Police has a hell of a job to do, and officers to get to the bottom of this, to ensure that justice prevails to the end matter. You have a foreigner here. I'm working for Pike. That's the company that's assisting Electricity Corporation in getting its program together. They deal with all the high tension wires and the like, running from Clifton up to Big Pond. This is a serious matter because it involves now a foreign national from the United States. You know how the United States is going to act when you take the life of one of their citizens. This is a very, very serious matter that shall not be taken lightly. All the facts should be made to the public as it is, and those responsible will have to suffer the consequences, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. It is a serious matter. We know the fallout and how that can be, but also we hope to get to the real story so that if there is punishment and so that everybody is just moving forward on an even footing, knowing exactly what took place and whether or not that force was necessary.
Was it warranted?
Yes, and was it warranted?
That's the question. Was it warranted?
Absolutely. Well, tonight, 2 police-involved shootings in just 48 hours. I'll tell you, to see it come through on the police group, it was just alarming. Raising new questions tonight about the use of force and public trust in law enforcement. Rebecca Bain has the story.
Police officers are trained, very trained and skilled. Please do not engage the police. If you engage the police, then police will defend themselves.
Police press liaison Sharia King speaking to the actions of officers following the second police-involved killing in just 2 days. The latest incident involved an off-duty officer who fatally shot a man police say attacked him with a cutlass during a confrontation near Montague Motors off West Bay Street. Minister of National Security Wayne Munro also weighing in backing police.
Somebody attacks you with a cutlass. Not only the police, but a private citizen has a right to defend themselves.
But public reaction has been mixed. Another weekend shooting which left a Pike employee dead, adding to growing concerns about police use of force. Some residents questioning whether different tactics, including de-escalation, could have been used.
Why the police don't have tasers or pepper spray or whatever the case is, it has to be a different way where they can resolve conflict interest without pulling their guns. They always say, the public needs to do conflict resolution and all that, but the police need it just as much because if they pulling the trigger quicker than us.
Others going further, raising broader questions about transparency and trust in police investigations. However, at this time, there is no evidence to suggest any wrongdoing or corruption in either incident.
They know the good cops, they know the bad cops. They got to start talking on the bad cops because it's the bad cops that making them look bad and not the good cops. Once one bad apple spoils a whole bunch.
Police say investigations into both matters are ongoing. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
What's the other one?
Leslie and Glenroy, certainly, of course, again, another shooting. This incident happened in the Montague area where reportedly the police, someone charged at the police with a cutlass. And I know that report raised questions about de-escalating. I doubt you could de-escalate an issue when people are angry, whether they be male or female, where they are angry and charging at you. Yes, a police, you expect them to be a bit more measured, but also we do not want to get to the place where we're losing Glenroy and Leslie, where we are losing the regard for law enforcement, for that uniform, and yes, weed out the bad apples. But I also feel as though we do not want to get to the place where it's kind of, you go charge at the police and or disregard them, or disregard an authority given on a scene.
Well, you know, one of the things is in this incident, and this goes back to the same point I just made previously, we cannot be expeditious in our resolve in a way that is seemingly favored the American citizen versus the Bahamian citizen who was killed by the police officer.
Yeah.
And in both instances, it requires a complete thorough investigation before any conclusive statements are being
Facts gotta
made.
be bordered.
I'm listening to the minister, and the minister is making a conclusive statement about the fact that the police officer was charged. Obviously, that was stated, and I respect that. But at the same time, you cannot just conclude and make that statement that is all the details that transpired. And I'm not trying to show any shade at the officer, because anybody who is in fear of their life will respond probably in kind. But this is going to be a very interesting case study in terms of how this incident is handled versus how the other incident is handled based on who is being involved. And that is why equitable distribution of justice needs to be at play here. And that is why we cannot show partiality when it comes to justice in this country. Everybody should be treated equally. And I expect that the process is done thoroughly, and that whatever result comes to fore, that the Bahamian people have clarity and understand every decision that was made and whatever charges are brought forth.
Very true, Glenroy. We are tired, Leslie, of seeing, for example, any foreigner on this land, on this soil, sometimes just flown off and flown away and not ever go through the judicial system.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that incident. I don't know. I mean, if someone comes after you with a cutlass, as the minister said, you have the right to defend yourself. Whether you have to kill the person or wound them, one would assume that an officer, a trained officer, should know where to shoot. You know, shoot him in the arm or what have you to, you know, stop the guy from coming any further. I don't know, maybe there's this situation with being trigger happy. Also got to be investigated too. You know, but Bahamians are becoming so violent now.
Angry.
And most of them on grass or drugs. It sets you damn crazy, to be honest with you, man. I got a call on yesterday. A friend of mine's son, he's in the States, and his son girlfriend is calling me to say he's trying to chop me up with a cutlass at the door. Young fella about 22 years old. You know, you want to go there and punch him out for being so stupid, you know? And this is a normal thing now. It has to stop. We as a society got to live with each other and love each other and show more respect and deference for justice and not try to take the law into our own hands.
I agree, Leslie. And also the thing that's also becoming more and more frequent, a disregard for authority figures. And yes, we can all say there's crooked police officers and they do this and you're right, you're absolutely right, 100%. That is not to say, though, we become a lawless society that disregard that uniform. But with that said, get this. Meanwhile, a viral video capturing a policeman seemingly manhandling a woman is sparking outrage tonight. The video shows the policeman forcefully pinning her against a vehicle during an attempt to detain the woman, who also seemed to be resisting arrest. However, things intensified as the video continued. It shows the woman grabbing the officer's vest, while further escalated the altercation. The video further shows another officer seemingly attempting to de-escalate the matter, but his efforts fell flat as his colleague followed through with his attempts to arrest the woman, who continued to resist and push back.
She got all the top off. What the hell?
Now, Eyewitness News reached out to authorities on this matter. This as questions were also raised about the woman's body parts being exposed. Authorities say they are reviewing the video. This is a story we will continue to follow. Leslie, you mentioned that this woman, you know, she is just wearing a bra. I saw something similar just this weekend on social media in the United States, where a woman appeared to be just a little mentally challenged or perhaps having an issue. And she was wearing a bra, her pants was inside out, and also just resisting the police and resisting an order given to her. And she was tackled, and she was tased or tasered and then tackled to the ground. My thing is, what is it that you expect when you're going to act like that? And when you can, and we don't know, again, we don't know the story. We're not trying to jump to conclusions. I feel as though there's a way, though, to respond to perhaps an order given.
Well, again, this is another incident that doesn't look good in some sense of the word to the police officers, even though they may have been justified in their actions. Because of the complete difference in terms of how one is expecting the other to behave, because the other officer seemed to suggest in his trying to stop his colleague that something is being done that shouldn't be done. Obviously, there is some level of disregard and disrespect towards police officers in this country, and that's a fact. And in some cases, some officers have created such a level of disrespect because, it's supposed to be equally given, and in some cases, some of the way they speak to people, is wrong as well. But in these instances, though, it's never good to have a situation like that, especially when you have so many people in that arena who were surrounding the situation that could have impacted any one of them, whereas that could have escalated to a point where gunshots were fired and more people injured. It's just unfortunate that this has happened, but it's also going to be a case study in how best to police these situations, how to possibly de-escalate them, and to bring about better resolve in terms of how we are handling arrests that are needing to be made. There's just too many issues here.
But Glenroy, we could all sound very textbook and say that while you're sitting on a TV screen on a Monday night after 8 o'clock, and me or Leslie can sound that way as well. You be out there with an angry, aggravated society and trying to bring about law and order, or be an angry police officer who feels as though he or she is underpaid and they could care less and just trying to get through their work hours. I mean, it's a whole lot of anger among these people out there.
Agreed, and it's on both sides. Anger is frustration levels in this country is on all levels, right? But as a police officer, you don't have the luxury of being angry and enforcing that anger on other people. You have the responsibility of being decent and your approach to how you handle a fellow citizen. Now, when that fellow citizen gets out of control, you have certain mechanisms and approaches that you can employ to ensure that they can govern themselves. But when it comes to situations that a man is handling a woman in such a way, it kind of creates some, situations that isn't going to be
What
favorable.
if that woman, Leslie, what if that woman is pushing back and fighting on a man? We say a woman and she's a lady, but what?
I think the whole country is in dire need of a social reset. There's anger all around. I don't see why you need two men to take down a woman. She was a big woman. But the police should be able to handle a woman by himself. It's just frustrating. And look at the message it sends to kids out there, to younger kids, who's going to now attempt to do the same thing that they're doing. And then they're not going to have no respect for law and order.
Yes.
It's just a societal problem that we need to be concerned about and correct.
No, this is creeping up all too often. We cannot
in every spectrum of society.
Yeah, it is. It is showing all too often. You
know?
cannot. And again, that's not to say, listen, Bahamian public, I'm not defending the silly officers out there. We know we got some of them, like a whole little bunch, right? But again, we cannot have a society that continues to I guess, present itself where we have a disregard for law and order. That uniform should stand for something. Or the badge should stand for something.
Whatever happened to the guy who was asking the tourists for the money? We ain't hear nothing but that case.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Yes,
what happened there?
Commissioner of Police, where's the man who was begging, telling the police that, listen,
come on, man.
Give me a little something and I'm going to let you go.
Okay,
we need an update.
Nothing.
We need an update. Where is that officer today, and what is the investigation reveal, and what is his punishment? That's what we want to know. Yeah, we absolutely want to know that. Leslie, excellent, Leslie. Yes, Glenroy?
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons why you have to have swift justice when it comes to police officers who are not behaving in the way and the manner that they should. Integrity is at the forefront of a police officer's behavior. And when they are out of line in that integral process, then obviously they got to face the rules. Yes, and I agree. There are Bahamians out here who are very rude and disrespectful towards police officers. But the police officers, as of late, have been getting a black eye because there's just too many instances where they have been involved
across the line,
part of certain situations that is actually given the police institution a bad name.
That's happening everywhere.
So get rid of them.
That's happening. Get and bring in who? Leslie? Hire who?
A couple better ones, I hope.
The on them? Like hire who? Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
I don't know what that.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes your process you and entertains them 24/7.
In a world of imagination, even a little mess can be part of the adventure. But for a truly royal snack, we need a clean slate. A few drops of Penalin dish liquid makes even dried-on paint disappear like magic. Penalin dish liquid, powerful cleaning in 3 fresh scents.
My name is Charles Wesley Rowe. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now, we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
Don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard, but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Idle Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds. When you set a budget before you start,
And know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
fun. So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. This evening, the political tug of war over alleged fraudulent passports intensifying in Parliament today as Deputy Opposition Leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright raised concerns, drawing a response from Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper and a strong reaction from Opposition Leader Michael Pintard.
And as responsible leaders on the other side, if they have information that's relevant to an investigation, they ought to provide it to the police and the proper authorities and stop fear-mongering, Mr. Deputy.
You all don't know their address.
They're politicking and fear-mongering. If you have information, give it to the police.
When I last spoke in here, I laid on the table of the House of Assembly, Mr. Deputy, a document that this side insisted, one, didn't exist, but we laid it on the table. So when the member starts talking about get it to the relevant authorities, we are fully aware, Madam Speaker, that the relevant authorities have the information. Madam Speaker, in fact, it's the relevant authorities who provided us with the information because they certainly did not have confidence that this government was going to address the issue.
This led to National Security Minister Wayne Monroe defending the investigation as he revealed the concerns of passport fraud has surfaced long before the current Davis administration came to office.
He flouted 300. He's not produced 300. The authorities have said that it was 98 that were forwarded from 2005. By all accounts, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is the amazing thing. This was happening under this administration, Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is being addressed. How many were addressed under the administration in which the member for Marco City was a cabinet minister? The current candidate, Mr. Deputy Speaker, who I believe is running in South Beach, had responsibility over the passport office, and they came up with 0. And most of the 98 being investigated passed through that time.
Leslie and Glenroy, is this going to be that one issue that's going to just ride straight through to Election Day?
Here's the kicker. I remember a few days ago and a few weeks ago, the government stated that there was no issue. But now we have 98 cases being investigated. When was this 98 cases being investigated? When they were stating that there was no issue? And that is where suspicion comes into play. If you're going to be able to get trust from the Bahamian people, you must be able to be consistent in what you're communicating. And therefore now with this fact of 98 being discussed, it now creates a level of suspicion. But not only with the level of 98, one just needs to look around this country again, and I make mention of the fact that you see a large influx of individuals who are seemingly riding our streets, walking about, and seemingly have access. And where have they got their papers from?
Like who, Glenroy? Name some nationalities. Name them. Name them, Glenroy. Like who?
You don't see them walking
I
around.
don't have to name the nationalities. We can see them.
Who, Glenroy? Glenroy, like who? Tell me. Who? Filipinos? Who? Haitian, Jamaican, who?
We see Haitians, we see Jamaicans, we see Africans, we see a whole plethora of individuals.
More than usual?
More than usual.
Leslie, have you seen more than usual?
Yes.
Yes, Leslie.
Yes, in the last several years, more than usual. And does that mean that everybody is here illegal? No. But what it means is that there needs to be some investigative process. If we have been finding a few individuals with passports that have had a registration in their possession, a voter's registration card in their possession, one would believe that there have to be much more if you can get 2 or 3 that slip through the cracks that we know about. And is the government not giving us the information? And that's, with this fact of being double-tongued in how we are demonstrating or presenting the information, there was nothing to be seen here. And then now there's 98 cases, then it creates suspicion and it needs to be investigated. And that is what is being asked for.
I'm not sure that is correct. I've never heard the government indicate that there was no issue on fraudulent passports. They said they had investigations being done. It said that a few people went before the courts for what was done. I think in the minds of many Bahamians, and I'm out there every day, there's an alarming concern about the amount of foreigners in this country. Now, whether they have fraudulent passport or proper passport is a question unto itself, because people want to know that when you see those pictures in the newspapers, which is every day, they need to appreciate that those persons in the newspapers but have already went through the process of being approved by the cabinet of the Bahamas to be a citizen of the Bahamas, and it's placed in there for one reason: for any objection, any possible objections, unplausible objection that a Bahamian would have for that person who's trying to register as a citizen of the Bahamas. I'm with you all the way that I believe there are a hell of a lot more of them that have fraudulent passports. And I'm telling you, if we continue on this trend, come election day, there's going to be hell out there at those booths. If you see Haitians and other persons come there with passports that is not speaking English, there's going to be some problems. And some of the problems would be like with a person like myself. If I go there and see a guy there only speaking Creole and I ask him, well, Chief, you know, where you live and what's this? And if he can't give me a sensible answer and can't speak proper English, I'm prepared to take his voter's card. And I ask him what you don't vote in my country. Many people have stated that to me, say, Mr. Miller, there can be problems. So this matter really needs to be addressed and finished with, hopefully before the gun is fired, and that's going to be very soon, as I understand it. So it is an overwhelming problem. I accept that. But I think we need to figure out who these people are. First of all, how could you give a man a $9,000 bail when he has had 2 passports and went to court? And the court said, okay, come back in 3 months. And the bail is $9,000. He should be a foxhole, should serve at least 30 years for it, be deported from our country,
and also
those who assisted him should be likewise deported.
Exactly, Leslie. Also those who assist, those who
serious
facilitate
as far as
this.
I'm concerned.
Who are the individuals who gave it to them? Who are the individuals that they got straight to?
There's a racket. There's a racket.
That is the problem.
It's a huge money-making venture that many Bahamians are involved in.
But again,
well, allegedly,
the minister is downplaying it. He's saying that the government has brought about this incident. And
Glenroy, behave. Stop. Glenroy, I have had on the show several times. Glenroy, I have had on the show several times the chief passport officer who says, and I do believe Nicholas Simonet,
he was then tired from campaigning out on Saturday.
That's him. That's usually him.
Apparently, we all understand how that goes.
Glenroy, I have had on the show Nicholas Simonet, who has said time and time again that he himself is responsible, one, for reinforcing and reinstating some laws that were relaxed.
He's done a wonderful
job. And
job.
also getting people to the police when they were found to be in violation of the law. Nicholas Simonet has done this, and this is why we can see what we see. But guess what? Tomorrow evening, by the way, everyone, my special guest right here, 1 hour, Michael Pintard. That's right. The leader of Her Majesty's loyal opposition will be my special guest. Now, let's go in. Speaking of Michael Pintard, many people impressed with his speech and his pitch to the nation on Saturday evening as the Free National Movement officially launched its 41 and election campaign. Here's that story.
The Free National Movement's campaign launch now in the rearview, but beyond the energy and political rhetoric, Bahamians! The night was heavy on policy promises, with housing taking center stage.
We are absolutely confident that in 5 years working with the private sector that we can build at least 5,000 homes in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have the talent, the private sector has the money, we can do it.
FNM leader Michael Pintard's also defending the target despite critics calling it overly ambitious.
For those who say that ambition is too big, we say your hope and confidence in our people is too small.
The promise bringing back memories of past FNM housing plans, including the Prospect Ridge development, which never materialized under the Minnis administration. But the FNM argues the current government's housing efforts are falling short. The Davis administration, however, pointing to active projects, including Vince Pin Meadows, where dozens of homes are nearing completion, along with ongoing work in Renaissance and Pinecrest. Still, the FNM is pushing additional incentives.
If you construct apartments for low and middle income renters, the FNM will reward you with a 10-year real property tax exemption.
FNM is going to make VAT rebates for first-time home buyers immediate and digital.
On cost of living, Pintard also signaling expanded value-added tax relief, arguing the government's current measures don't go far enough.
We do not believe that VAT should be on the variety of items that's healthy and good for our people. Not on the electricity, not on medication, not on feminine hygiene products or foods, healthy foods. We make that commitment to you.
Turning to Family Island challenges, the party says it has solutions to improve access to banking services.
If you have challenges with your government because your government left you in South and Central Andros with no banks, I just want you to know we're going to make sure you have a bank in South Andros.
The FNM also promising stronger legal protections for whistleblowers amid recent controversies involving government officials.
We will strengthen whistleblowing protections, including ensuring there is a single whistleblower hotline across all government activities, that whistleblowers have appropriate statutory protections.
And in a direct message to his team, Pintard warns that corruption will not be tolerated.
If any one of our colleagues decide that there is a cookie jar or two that they wish to put their hands in, I can't protect you. I ain't interested in protecting you.
Meanwhile, the governing Progressive Liberal Party maintains its focus on continuity, saying it will build on what it calls progress made since taking office. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, you heard Pintard there hitting at many and addressing really many issues that are very important to so many Bahamians, not just here in the capital. I mean, among them, you all heard the final thing he said, he will not tolerate corruption.
He's involved in corruption.
Glenroy, your response, he talked about housing, 5,000 in one term. He talked about taking banking back into places like South Andros and I imagine the southern Bahamas and other places, and many other areas and issues he addressed as well and touched on.
Janique, did you notice that a lot of those statements were being made without any notes following? They were speaking directly from his heart and from what his passion was in terms of where he wants to see the country go. Is it not amazing? The reality is that I would say the PLP has done a good job as it relates so far in terms of providing homes for Bahamians, because anytime Bahamians get homes, that's a wonderful thing. And I hope that they are able to sustain them over a period of time and not be in situations where they're not paying the bills over a long-term period. But at the same time, the government, in terms of what the opposition is proposing, is a wonderful idea as well. Because obviously the aim is to ensure that Bahamians are moving away from this renting concept. Because the average rent right now is a mortgage payment for many individuals.
Easy.
And if this continues, it's going to bankrupt many Bahamians over a long-term period, and they won't have anything to show for it at the end of their retirement years, which will become a burdensome experience for the Bahamian public taxpayers, because we will have to fund those scenarios because they don't have any place to rest their heads. When you look at the proposed ideas that the opposition has come with, obviously they seem to be very organized and very strengthened by their resolve. And the presentation presented that evening, on Saturday evening, shows and demonstrate that they mean business, they come to work, and they seemingly are very fired up and ready to go.
I think we need to get back to reality, though. The FNM run this country for 20 years and never built 500 houses in the 20 years that they were head of government in this country. Now all of a sudden you're going to build 5,000 homes in 5 years. In whose lifetime? You know, you can come up with all these beautiful, wonderful things to say, but the records speak for itself. You talk about agriculture, that you wanted to diversify and expand the base. You never yet mentioned light industries and import substitution entities that is needed so desperately to diversify our base, enable Bahamians to get involved in the domestic economy. We speak of all of these ideas that are floating out there. You're going to provide these people with affordable houses. You know, people not going to believe some of this, but I believe from my own experience from going around door to door and just with every constituency. Do you realize that more than 60% of Bahamians probably live in apartments? Do you realize that those young children are never going to get an opportunity to own their own little piece of land, to go in their backyard and play with their friends, to play with their swings, because most of them live in apartments, and I find that horrific.
Leslie, that's no new idea, though.
But that's not a new idea.
That is the reality anywhere in the world today.
But let's be realistic with it.
So what are you going to do? Put them in there for free?
No, you can't put them in there for free.
But let's be realistic.
But I'm saying, but he's not going to accomplish 1,000 homes in a year.
Oh, how many?
Well, they say 5,000.
I'm saying, what I'm saying,
period of-
gentlemen, is this. The housing situation where people cannot build or purchase the average person a house is a reality anywhere in the world right now.
Yeah, but
I mean,
in
it's nothing
the
that's
Bahamas,
synonymous
it's a
to the
serious
Bahamas.
Serious problem.
It's an issue everywhere.
We need to
the
deal with
average
it.
person cannot go and purchase a home or build a home right now. You understand?
But
and so what do you want to do?
You have to find a way to make them homeowners. The system as best we can.
How are you going to make them
You
homeowners?
got
a
a
system.
challenge. I hear Mr. Miller talking about the FNM having built home in a certain amount of years, but the FNM had challenges in terms of the time that they were governing the country as well, because there were insurmountable challenges that they faced in the time of governance, right? That no other government has faced.
But you're talking about the
I
last
don't need
5
to
years
list
under
all the
ministry, man.
challenges, but at
You
the
mean
same
under
time,
minutes.
if we're talking about the fact that homes were needing to be built, it's a sad indictment that the PLP has been running the country more years than the FNM, and we still have a situation where a lot of Bahamians don't have their foothold on homes and access to homes. But not only that,
there are a lot of empty and repossessed homes as well, eh? There are a lot of empty and repossessed homes as well.
I didn't hear you.
I don't want to know
But I
no
blame
government
it on a
is.
lot
I don't
of
want to know
administrations
Glenroy
as
and
well.
Leslie. No government is in the business of actually giving homes away.
Not giving them
And
away.
the
Listen,
people
the
can
government
afford it.
provide
What
the
you gonna
land for free, you know. I wonder if you all know that the land is
But
provided
that's
for
what
free.
Pintard said. Pintard said they are going to give Bahamians land. That's what he says. That's a part of what it. That's a part
The
of his
PLP
vision.
government started in 1968 with Yellow Elder.
Well,
That was the first one.
Where they need to build on it. So the PLP needs to build on it because
accept that.
Michael Pintard says what his
But
administration.
the current
will-
minister is doing
what
a hell
his
of a job at building now.
What his
You
administration
gotta give him
will do
full.
is give Bahamians land. Listen, we could go on and on and on. Once again, tomorrow evening, right here, 8 o'clock, Michael Pintard, leader of the Free National Movement, will join me right here on Beyond the Headlines. Tune in for that, and we will go further into this discussion and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, speaking of what else the nation needs, food security. But we speak with we speak with a princess and also a doctor from Nigeria about exactly what their plans are and their fact-finding mission here in the Bahamas.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Well, a lot has been made about the fact that the region is vulnerable when it comes to food security, and including the Bahamas as well. And if these ladies have their way, that will be remedied very soon. Dr. Moji Davids, president of the International Agripreneurs, managing director of Extra Large Farms and Resorts in Nigeria, is joined this evening by Her Royal Highness Princess Maradun. And the princess is based in the United Kingdom. Now, the Extra Large Farm Group is on a fact-finding mission here in the Bahamas, and they are special guests of the CEO Network to explore the idea of large-scale farming in the Bahamas. And you all know this is not a new idea for us, because so many ministers of agriculture have been trying to sort through this themselves. Now, Extra Large Farms is a global entity. They supply products and produce and supplies throughout Europe, Canada, and the United States. And so they certainly know a thing or two about large-scale farming and addressing food security. And so good evening to you, Princess and Dr. Davids. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you both here.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, viewers. I bring you high royal salutations and greetings from the palaces of my grandfather in Remo Kingdom, where I hail from. That's in Ogun State, southwestern Nigeria. And the name is Her Royal Highness Princess Maradun Adidun Ishola. A bit of a mouthful, but
I was trying, when the aide came and told me, I was like, what can I call her? And so even that, I messed that one up. I do apologize for messing up your first name. But it's good to have you here. Good evening. And good evening to you, Dr. Davids.
Yeah, good evening. Greetings from Nigeria.
It's good to have you both here. Now, before we begin, of course, you ladies have a global mission, and you've brought that here. That global mission is strengthening economies through, of course, food security. Roll the TP, please, D'Angelo. Roll the TP. Strengthening economies through food security, wellness, as well as wealth creation, something that boosts economies and has been proven to do so, whether it's Nigeria or anywhere else. Let's just talk about when it comes to food security, and of course here in the Bahamas, we have a huge import bill, about $1 billion really. What kind of, so you heard, huh? What kind of impact would Extra Large Farms and Resorts kind of make on a nation like the Bahamas, where we import more than 90% of what we consume?
Can I just give a very quick background so that you'll have a better understanding of why we're even here? We could have been elsewhere, but why Bahamas? I have been coming to Bahamas for about 35 years now. First by the invitation of the late Dr. Miles Monroe, and that's how I was able to meet Dr. Led Bartlett, who herself and myself became business partners in the past years. And in my coming, I've always wondered, apart from tourism, and Bahamas being that destination for cruise, holidays, weddings, etc., and just general vacation, what else is there, in Bahamas? Such a beautiful place. And I began to understand that there's a lot of importation of food.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, why would there be importation of food? Because if we go way back in time, this was a place where food was planted, harvested,
and exported.
And shipped out.
And exported, yeah.
So for me, it was a bit of a, like a big series of question marks. And I began to talk to, Dr. Debbie Bartlett and various other people that I've become acquainted to here. And I realized, just as you said, that it is a problem and a situation that needs to be addressed. Now, Dr. Muji Davis and her husband, they set up the Extra Large Farm and Resort in Nigeria about 18 years ago. So they have 14 large farms across Nigeria, one in neighboring Benin Republic, and another one in the other side of Nigeria, which is neighboring Cameroon. So making 16 farms in all. And they just don't like plant and harvest. They process, package, ready for stores. And it's purely...
And they do that across nations.
Across Nigeria, we have 14 farms. And then there's a country, Nigeria is in between Benin Republic and Cameroon. So there's a farm in Benin Republic. There's another extra large farm in Cameroon. So all in all, that's 16 farms of different crops, from palm to corn to beans to vegetables. The list goes on. And we have, I think, over 16 items that are processed, packaged, all organic, and that I eat their food, And so I just felt, you know what, there's something we could do to build the bridge, first of all, between Africa and her diaspora. That's number one. Number two, something that would also be of mutual benefit for Nigeria itself and Bahamas. And history also lets me know, because my background is also broadcast journalism, and I found out years ago that there's a large number of Bahamians with Nigerian ancestry, particularly Yoruba ancestry. So it was a personal thing for me. And as a princess, as a royal, you also have duties in building bridges, in forming alliances to do with wealth creation, trade and investment, exchange of culture, tradition, etc.
So before so you've teamed up with
yes. So I'm a part of CEO Network,
yes.
And then I thought I should invite my dear sister, Dr. Muji Davis.
And which is great, Dr. Davis, because we want to hear exactly, you all are here, you've come to the Bahamas for a fact-finding mission.
Yes.
And what is it that you're hoping to find out, and exactly how will you begin even building this out just by what you see initially, and how would this look?
Thank you very much. Excuse me. They say only a fool doubts proofs. So when you have proof, you can carry it anywhere in the world. If it's working somewhere, it can definitely work in another place. And like my Royal Highness has said, we have found a connection between Nigeria and the Bahamas because we believe that you are people. As a matter of fact, you look so much like a lot of people, back home. So this is what we've been doing for 18 years. We found a solution to food security by awakening the interest of the people. That's the first thing. Because just like it is in Africa, it's also playing here in the Bahamas. Agriculture is forgotten because of technology and IT. A lot of young folks today just want to be the tech guys. Nobody wants to be the farmer. And the moment you mention farming...
But the farmer is needed.
The farmer is needed.
In every society.
The farmer is needed. Nobody wants to be seen as the farmer. So first we have to create the awakening and let people be proud of farming. As we begin to do some reorientation about farming, I'm proud to be a farmer. I would not want to be addressed as anything else but farmer, And then we begin to set up both small-scale and large-scale farms all across the Caribbean, you understand? And we will achieve this by working closely with the young ones and the women.
So it's in schools, for example, and making it a part of curriculum to say, listen, here's an option and a viable option that you create your own way and not necessarily depend on the traditional industries that are oversaturated in many instances.
Thank you very much. And then the farms that are already in existence here, how can we partner with them to make them more visible and more approachable, where children, even from the schools, can be to the farms on excursion? Is one of the things that we do in Nigeria. We open our farms for the children to come for the excursions, and you discover when they come in, we ask, oh, would you want to be a farmer? They said no. But by the time we take them around and they see a lot of things, beautiful things, you see how your food is being produced. We make you to be part of it. And by the time they are leaving, we're asking them, would you want to be a farmer? Everybody says yes. So we have to start with that. Let the young people
So it's a indoctrination.
Thank you very much.
Of understanding that here's an industry that nobody's going to really be fighting you to compete with you. And you are performing and giving a valuable service that possibly can also service other nations.
Yes. Imagine if we have just 50,000 active farmers in the Bahamas. What do you think will happen?
We certainly, the food import bill would be cut in half. That's the first
I was
thing.
in a store
and
today.
we'll be healthier. Think about it, because wellness is also a part of what it is that this whole wonderful collaboration will do. So you will eat natural, you will eat from your home and where it's best. Exactly, it's coming right from the ground and organic.
Yes, and you don't need to do so much. One of the things we want to teach here is soilless farming, and even sack farming. Farming also in temperature containers, different type of technologies that will aid people. That you can even start from a very small parcel of land and then begin to grow. If you started on a small parcel of land, your encouragement will come when you begin to see your process. And we're going to start with very low period produce, something you can plant and begin to see your harvest within 2-3 months. It awakens the interest. You have a taste. You check what you've been buying in the stores. You check this one that you're growing, you see the difference, because organic is in the taste. You can't tell anybody about it until you've had a taste of it. And then it brings us also to wellness. We're setting up, in collaboration with farms here, wellness farms. We have discovered some secrets about wellness in your food.
Yes.
I'm a living witness that you can eat your way to wellness. I was diagnosed with fatty liver many years ago, and it's a disease you have to live with, all the rest of your life. But I said, no. What's the solution? What caused it? Food. So if food caused it, food can cure it. And that was when I came to the reality of the fact that if I pick something to eat in my hand, if it's not from the ground, it will soon take me to the ground. So we have to wake up and say no to laboratory processed food, chemically over processed food, and go back to nature, to our soil, and the way God has designed it. Imagine from your apples that you eat one piece of apple, you finish it all up, and you have a little seed in there, and you go ahead and plant that but it doesn't go wasted. It comes back multiples of hundreds, and that for many years. So why are we wasting our potentials? This is legacy that God has given unto us. We have to awaken ourselves to the reality and begin to work with it. So we're calling on all organizations.
Well, I know that you are initially here, obviously, at the invitation, as I said, of the CEO Network and Dr. Debbie Bartlett. However, what is planned, even in this initial fact-finding visit, to be able to begin bringing people together to discuss these ideas, so people can say, there is something that's possible.
Yes. We've had a few meetings thus far, with government functionaries and various organizations. In fact, we've had a packed couple of days.
Yes.
We've had like 6 meetings already. So there is interest, and people are very receptive and very excited, just as we are, to ensure that we bring about a change that will give us a better quality of life for all, young, old, and the coming generation as well.
And as you said, Dr. Davids, you know, health is on what's on your plate.
Yes.
And Princess, you said you, even in London, you eat from
yes, I order my food
from the extra large farms. Talk about the economic impact that extra large farms and its 16 locations throughout that
West
Nigeria. How have you seen it played out in the economy that the Bahamas can, once we grab hold of an idea like this, can experience as well?
The intersection of agriculture with wellness and tourism, you know, adding value to it, that's what we've brought. It's not just about agriculture, because most times if it's just the cultivation or animal husbandry and you don't look at how to add value to it, you will end up poor. You know, in our organization, we have over 1 million subscribers who eat our food every day from about 14 nations across the world, mostly Nigerians and people of African descent, you know, in all those countries, including the USA, Canada, and UK. And what we've discovered is that, you know, by bringing this community together, that's what we did. First, we did away with the market. And that is one of the things that we want to teach the people of Bahamas. A farmer who wakes up to put all his labor into the farm activities only to meet the general market demand will always be poor. But when a farmer wakes up to go into his farming activities, having the mindset of adding value into whatever he has done and service the need of a community that understands what he's doing, those are the things we want to bring. So you add value, you also work with a community. So we are building a community of people who have respect for organic food, who believe in the fact that you can eat and be well, that there is a relationship between your food and your health. You know, where your food is not just for the tummy to be filled, but food is for us a medicine. You understand? So whatever you're producing, they understand that this is not just food, this is life. So they are able to pay the reward that the farmer deserves, because farmers are grossly underpaid anywhere in the world, because people do not appreciate the value of what they bring to the table. So those are the things that we are teaching. And farmers, don't go to the farm just like that. Add value to what you're doing. Let's create wellness farms. You know, let's create food for wellness communities.
So it even becomes a niche tourism experience because there can be tours and so much where people
and we call it agri-tourism. And Extra Large proudly celebrated the first ever World Agri-Tourism Festival in Nigeria, and we extended that to the UK and Canada last year, where we were having it every 2 years, just telling people that there is much more to a Greek than just food production. You know, even tourism in agriculture can still bring a lot more, not just because of the money, but because of the awakening of the interest of the people to see everybody live a better life and create wealth, transgenerational wealth through agribusiness.
I thank you very much, Princess.
Thank you so much.
And Dr. David, I call her name because I can pronounce that.
No problem.
Princess and Dr.
Indeed.
David. Yes, thank you very much. This is interesting. I don't know. I'm sure people want to know where you all going next. Maybe they can get in on some of those meetings before you leave.
I'm a part of the CEO network, so I brought my sister to the Bahamas to share this. But we're going to be here for the next couple of days. They could contact you. They could go on our website and send a message.
Yes.
What is the website?
What's the website of CEO Net? Or you can just go to Extra Large Farms and Resorts.
Yes. Extra Large Farms and Resorts. Yes. You can go on that and get some information, perhaps comment. Somebody will reach out to you.
Instagram, Twitter.
Yes. Okay, excellent. Looking forward to hearing more about this, by the way. Yes.
We want to say a very big thank you. Bahamas is not just beautiful to see, but the people are much more beautiful.
Yes.
And I said to my sister, I said, if you think you're nice and kind, go to Bahamas because you see another degree of kindness here in Bahamas. You are wonderful.
We certainly intend to make our visitors feel welcome.
Thank you
And
so
especially
much.
those who have adopted the Bahamas as
love
their
Bahamas.
own all these
Yes.
years.
I love Bahamas.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you once again, Princess
Muradil.
and also Dr.
Moji
Davids.
yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I want to say a huge thank you to all of you this evening for tuning in. It's certainly been awesome having you here. Of course, my Hot Topics panelists at the top of tonight's show, and then of course this wonderful opportunity with Extra Large Farms and Resorts out of Nigeria, and of course the Princess out of the United Kingdom. Thank you both very much once again, and of course to you for watching this evening. Good having you along. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.